Hey, everybody. Welcome to Friar Territory, part of the Foul Territory Network. I am Darren Smith. That is Marty Caswell. It is everybody's favorite type of episode. It is a mailbag episode. We are recording on a Wednesday. No, I think this is Thursday. The Padres just got swept by the Philadelphia Phillies, not just in a 3-game series, but in a 6-game regular season. 0-6 against the Philadelphia Phillies. Not a happy flight for the Padres, who will return home to take on the New York Metropolitans. We are going to answer some of your social media questions and commentary coming up. So everybody just buckle in, brace yourself. We requested that people send in some questions and some thoughts during this third game of the Phillies series. So you can imagine the mood was probably not all that optimistic. Marty, we are here regardless of result, as we always are. Welcome to Friar Territory.
Hi, Darren. Okay, truth be told, I was ready to start recording today's show when they were down 1-0. Okay, early on, and I think I texted you know what, this game is over, because so far, a couple months ago, we're talking, hey, the Padres can come back from everything. They had a vibe, they had a confidence that resonated in that clubhouse. It's completely different now. I almost feel like they're mentally defeated once they're down. Was Lucas Giolito great? I mean, he gave them a chance to win. That's all you want from your starting pitching. They more than got that yesterday from Walker Buehler. But man, the offense has been such a story that it seems like they get down by one run, it's lights out. We can start recording our show. I was that tempted to doing it, but I'm like, you know what? They might get no hit today, so I didn't want to go ahead and get ahead of myself. That's where I'm at right now with the Padres.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's not exactly the way the third game went on Thursday in Philadelphia.
It was better.
But, well, it was Zach Wheeler, who was very good, who did look like he was going to throw a no-hitter. I think you had plenty of Padres fans and baseball people who have paid attention to this Padres struggling offense who thought it could happen.
Yeah,
it could happen. And it's not like the Phillies are any great offensive dynamo either. I think part of the story, even if it's a tiny little part, Marty, is that the Padres did give up 6 runs to the Phillies, and that hasn't happened in like 3 weeks. So there's not been good hitting. We understand that. Today, they also were betrayed a little bit by some bad fielding. The problems behind the plate continue. An errant pickoff throw when the game was actually close and you thought maybe the Padres could smash and grab their way out of Philadelphia.
Smash and grab.
Cut the deficit 3-2. And then Yuki Matsui throws it down the right field line, and here comes the carousel. And then they added on a little later to the Phillies, and it came off Adrian Morejon, which we won't even have time for today. But the bottom line is that, yet again, the Padres lost. And listen, this is our first show since the release of Nick Castellanos, which I think is at least worth mentioning. Marty and I do other shows, and we did talk about that at some length. But, Marty, one of the things I think that's worth bringing up here was just some of the reaction, I think, from Manny Machado. And I have these quotes in front of me. I can read them. The issue was not Nick. I don't think that was the move to try to make the offense better. For us to get where we want to go, it's going to take the big guys in the middle of the order to swing the bats hot. We're not doing that right now. Speaking about Castellanos, who's Manny Machado's friend, he said he's had a lot of great at-bats for us. He did what he needed to do for us. It sucks that it's come this way. I think everybody in here loved him and appreciated what he brought every single day. It sucks to hear the news. Numbers don't really look great in hindsight, but won some key games for us. I think that's going to help us. So, that's a little bit from Manny Machado. And I did think, that the timing we could talk about. I think by now everybody's had an opinion about the timing of DFAing Nick Castellanos in Philadelphia. Doesn't even get the opportunity to play. He did get out there and acknowledge the Philadelphia crowd. But I had wondered what this was going to be like in the clubhouse, and I wasn't there, so I didn't hear this tone. I'm just reading these quotes via the Union Tribune. You're in the clubhouse more than just about everybody. I don't know that there's any carryover. The Padres scored 4 runs in the finale, but it didn't look good for the first 5 innings of this game, did it?
It did not. And I'm just wondering, and I texted you about this, Darren, earlier too. Like, I wonder how demoralizing. I mean, anytime that you're on a losing streak, anytime that you get swept, it's going to be demoralizing. But when you have Manny Machado, who made the case for Nick, right? They were working out together in the offseason before he was DFA'd by the Phillies, right? He was working with getting some time in at first base with Manny's brother-in-law, Yonder Alonso. They've known each other since they were kids. Manny was excited about him. When you go in the Padres locker room, Darren, you have Manny Machado, you have Tatis, you have Nick Castellanos. Those guys gathered around by Manny's locker all the time after these games, win or lose, talking some baseball. So I just think that right now, if you're Manny, number one, it might feel a bit personal to you because this is a guy that you wanted in. This is a guy that you're like, you know what, this guy, what dimes on the dollar, whatever they got from Nick Castellanos, but you thought that he could make an impact. And I would just wonder if Manny's thinking, if I had done a little bit more, if the guys in this clubhouse who should be carrying this team had done a little bit more, maybe you don't have to make this move for Castellanos. You can go ahead and get away because he can give you some quality at bats. So it just has to be demoralizing. I'm sure they're happy for Samad Taylor. I'm sure they're happy for Jase Bowen. But you had back-to-back games, Darren, where the Padres had a chance maybe to do something in the last inning, and that's where you're setting up against the Phillies closer, rather than Castellanos, who at least has a major league resume other than these guys. They're not rebuilding right now, right? They're looking for any spark, any answer. But I wonder what it's, if you're Tatis and you're Manny Machado and you're Gavin Sheets and you're Jackson Merrill, you're looking around thinking, we couldn't use Nick Castellanos, but we're expecting Samad Taylor and Jase Bowen to have better results to help pick up this offense. You make that move, and then you get swept. I just can't imagine what that conversation is on that long flight back to San Diego.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Samad Taylor ended up making the final out of game number 2.
Yes.
And Jase Bowen ended up making the final out of game number 3. And the final out of game number 1. So again, it's just the way the universe works. Speaking about, though, what they are hoping to do with Castellanos, this is a quote from Craig Stammen that I thought was interesting. Quote, "We're not changing the core of what our offense is. The goal of the offense is to score more runs than we've been scoring. I know that's going to happen. Just trying to change it up a little bit. See if maybe that's the right formula to get kick-started a little bit. Get this offense going a little bit. Get our team going a little bit. Not necessarily the offense, but just how can we play some team baseball?" It's kind of an interesting quote from Craig Stammen, don't you think? We're not saying that Nick Castellanos and his 191 batting average was necessarily the problem, but we have to do something to try to kick off the offense in some capacity. And this was the guy that the arrow landed on. So I don't know if that's motivational towards Manny Machado. It didn't look like that through the first 2 at-bats. He struck out on 6 pitches.
I know.
He struck out on 6 pitches the first time through on
Wheeler.
Right? And then he was behind 0-2. And Wheeler threw a 95-mile-per-hour fastball right over the middle of the plate. It was actually really insulting, I got to admit. I thought it was insulting what Wheeler did. And Manny then cranked that one 450 feet. So I don't know if he just thought, hey, Machado's out of it. I punched this guy out on 6 pitches earlier today, and I'm a pitch away from doing it in 9. He threw the ball right over the middle of the plate, and Manny woke up and hit the ball 450 feet. So good for Manny Machado, at least to make it a game and make it interesting for a moment. But I'm with you, Marty. I'm kind of curious just to know, and I know sometimes on the outside people don't love this logic. Just kind of curious to know what some of the veteran players on this team, how this is going to go over. I mean, it's their job to stand up there and perform in the batter's box, in the field, on the pitching mound. But I don't know. It just seems like it's an interesting inflection point for the San Diego Padres to me.
I would agree. I am curious as to how many guys in that clubhouse right now, Darren, are second guessing not just the manager, not just their first time manager and the decisions and what he's saying, the message being delivered, but also AJ Preller. The timing of this to me is very curious.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like
to your point, Marty, he's stuck.
And
you're right. To your point, Manny Machado stuck his neck out for Nick Castellanos.
Yeah.
We all understand that. They could downplay it all they want. But, in terms of this feeling like once he got released by the Philadelphia Phillies, he was going to end up a San Diego Padre, it feels like that was something, a plan that was hatched in the offseason, doesn't it? So,
100%.
And you vouch for somebody and you bring somebody in, and that's a two-way street because I'm sure he also told the player, you're going to come into the situation and it's going to be okay. It's an interesting subplot to what's now a 32-29 team that has lost a season high 5 consecutive games.
Yes. And again, Darren, I want to stress this point again because I know we have to hit a break before we get to your tweets. And boy, there's so many tweets that we may have to do another show tomorrow just on your tweets. But again, if this is a situation where, say, Ethan Salas is ready to go and you know it's just a matter of time and this is going to be the guy, this is the hot prospect, this is a future everyday key piece of this team, fine, you get that move. But there's no one that you and I have talked to. We had Kyle Glazer on the earlier episode of Friar Territory cautioning us against Jase Bowen is not the answer. He's a bit player. He can give you some depth for your defense, but he is not the solution. He's not your everyday player. Okay? Same thing for Samad Taylor. If you had made a move because you had a guy that you was a difference maker right now, and they're like, yes, it's his time. I think the guys in that clubhouse would accept it. But you're doing it for these players right now, and then you get swept. Look out.
No, and then again, and the manager just says, we're just trying to get the team going a little bit. How can we play some team baseball? Very interesting. All right, when we come back, we did request if you have some commentary or if you have some questions, please send them to us on social media. Many of you took us up on that invitation, so we will read your messages when we return. Stick around, Friar Territory continues. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Baseball fans, the MLB season is in full swing, and FanDuel is giving you a chance to call your shot with daily dingers. Joining the action is easy. Just make your free pick on who's hitting a home run in their game, and if you're right, you'll get a profit boost to use on your next bet for a chance at extra winnings. It's just another reason why FanDuel is the home of home runs. So, are you ready to play your game? Head over to FanDuel.com/podcast to get started. That's FanDuel.com/podcast to opt in for daily dingers. Make your free pick on who's hitting a homer. Play ball. Swing for the fences on FanDuel, an official partner of Major League Baseball. No purchase necessary. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, welcome back to Friar Territory. Darren Smith, Marty Caswell with you. So the Padres don't get an off day. They will be right back in action on Friday against the Mets. That is a 3-game series. Then they will play the Cincinnati Reds. That's a 3-game series, so you can catch the Padres in action. No rest at all. Not a Monday off. It is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then the Padres will get a day off before they go to Baltimore. So a homecoming for Manny Machado. All right. Who knows what we're going to hear here, but Marty did put out the bat signal a little bit earlier when the Padres, this was during the game. So, Padres, I guess, made it interesting. I mean, it feels like their entire offense at this point is a walk and a dong, Marty. I think you said that the other day.
Thank you. I was asking for
it. They got a walk in this game, and then Manny Machado hit a dong. And then in the 9th inning, I think it might have been a base hit and a dong, but either way, it was, call it whatever you want, walk and a dong, bloop and a blast. And Jackson Merrill hit a homer, and Manny Machado hit a homer. It's kind of like that day in Washington where all like Manny and Xander and Fernando all homered, except the Padres lost that game. So let's dip into the mailbag and see what we have here today from the Friar Faithful.
In no particular, completely random, no particular order. Tweet number 1. Yeah, I have a question. Why? That's from Jeremy at pimp_lord619. Darren.
Okay.
Why, Darren? Why?
Well, this is a very philosophical question, Marty. Obviously, the question of why is in and of itself its own paradox. Why? Because what else would you be doing? What else would you like to do? Why
do I put myself through this? Why do I believe in this team? Why do I expect a different outcome when it's the same group of players? I don't know, Jeremy. I don't know why. I feel like we've been every single week, man. And I didn't get a chance to even to watch Craig Salmon's post game. These guys are going to hit. Well, I think we're all waiting for that moment, for that one game, that one breakout game where the Padres have these long sustained innings and not, again, to your point, depending on a walk and a dong. They can't get that. Where they can play some crisp, clean defense, where their fundamentals are sound. They've gotten away from so much of that, and I'm not sure why yet we are expecting the results to be any different. No margin for error for anybody on your pitching staff. You just not there.
Yeah, I mean, they've lost 9 out of 10. Why? Is that how you interpreted it? Like, why am I invested in this emotionally?
Why do I put myself through this? Why do I expect anything different?
Yeah. Or was it like, why Craig Stammen? why anything? I mean, there could be very specific questions. It's very open-ended. It's like a piece of art. We hung it on the wall, and we both took that just to be overarching and philosophical. And I guess the question is, someday, hopefully before we all die, this team will find itself back with an opportunity to win a championship.
Before we die? Thanks, Darren. Wow, great question, Pimp Lord. You got us thinking. All right, here's tweet number 2 from Cadden Arcater. What should the team burn after this road trip? What should they burn after? Have they burned something previously that I missed?
No, Marty, I think this is in response because you asked for burning questions. Oh. It says right there in your question, in your bat signal, burning questions only.
My leading question.
To know, what should they burn?
Well, I'm not sure you should burn something, but I would have, maybe Jobu, some rum, go back to what worked in the greatest movie of all time, the greatest baseball movie of all time, Major League. So maybe have an offering for Jobu. I don't know. That's
an offering.
Yeah, an offering.
Maybe a Viking funeral for Nick Castellanos' personal belongings. I don't know. I mean, what demons do you need to exercise that are hovering around this team and delivering the bad juju at this point? You want to burn their bats? Should they all just burn a baseball bat each and be like, yo, this offense is historically pitiful? Somebody on Twitter, Marty, I don't know if this is accurate, and forgive me for not having remembered the person who tweeted it.
Okay.
But somebody pointed out that this is the worst batting average in franchise history, which is incredible.
Can't be possible.
To think about that.
There has to have been worse teams.
It can't.
There have to have been worse teams. They've had
realize that they have
seasons.
40 fewer hits than the 29th team. 40. That's Cincinnati, who's coming here next week.
Oh, great.
The Padres have the fewest hits in Major League Baseball. It's like, all right, sometimes numbers, you're only off by 1 or 2 or whatever. They have 40 fewer hits than the Cincinnati Reds. I think they should all burn a baseball bat because it's not like they need them. They're not working. I mean, maybe Gavin Sheets shouldn't. But the rest of them, I would say everybody throw a baseball bat into the bonfire. Go out to where Marty lives out there in Mission Beach and just light all your baseball bats on fire, guy, because they ain't working.
All right, I live in
Pacific
Beach.
Catcher's glove.
Oh, dude.
There's a lot of things you could burn here because this team's got some demons.
Maybe tomorrow they should just go. They need to wear their old City Connects.
You're saying throw the new City Connects into the fire. Okay.
Something, I don't know.
There's no wrong answers.
There's no wrong answers. All right. Well, from Jeffrey Brian Skipper, when are we getting a hitting coach that knows what they're doing? Now, is that from this year? That was from today. Today's tweet. All right.
Evergreen.
I know.
When are we getting a hitting coach that knows what they're doing? This is an evergreen question when it comes to the Padres. Although, again, a couple years back, they were leading the league in average and hitting. How quickly this has really fallen off a cliff to go from where this was 2 years ago to where this is today is quite stunning, even in a league where everybody makes adjustments all the time. Well, we've taken one dramatic step. I mean, I know that it's not like Nick Castellanos is some long-term Padre, but the Padres have done something here that I think we would put in the category of, it's a pretty dramatic decision to make to DFA a player who was popular and had the kind of connection to some of the the perceived leadership of the team that Nick Castellanos did. If it doesn't turn around, then you would expect that there might be some more changes somewhere down the road. But I think I've given my thoughts on this, Marty, and I I had to caught my ear today when I was watching on television. I was watching the Padre post-game show, and I want to be careful not to misrepresent Mike Pomerantz and Mark Grant. But they were talking about the offense. And listen, everybody's like, we're all exhausted by this.
Right.
Talking about this offense. But, on the team broadcast post-game show, even Mudd and Pomerantz were talking like, yeah, I mean, you can see the difference when Trey Turner's at he goes the opposite way and goes with fastballs. And Padres just seem to be trying to pull everything. And like, it was just an interesting bit of commentary and good analysis. It wasn't criticism. It was just analysis from two guys who both have been professionals and both love the Padres, just like everybody. But even the two of them afterwards, it just was like not quite clear what it is that's happening out there, game in, game out, and what the offensive approach is from this team in 2026, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm. Craig Stammen at the end of the last homestand, when he was asked about the Padres offense, right? The same tired questions. And he was asked about Steven Souza. He said that it's on me. It's on me. I am the manager of this team. I'm the one that has to get the best out of these players. But again, AJ Preller picked Craig Stammen to be the manager of this team. That was the guy. Stammen hired this staff. So I don't think AJ Preller is going to hire another manager this season. But if you're going to make a change, if things don't turn around, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they do make a change with the hitting coaches, because that's usually where it starts. It's not going to happen with the manager. All right, the next question. Let's go. Let's see. Okay. From Lance Fogel. Should AJ sell? Should the new owners dump Machado? All right, wow. Darren, go ahead. I know, right? Go ahead and tackle. I'm guessing that's after the second strikeout before he hit the 2-run homer. Should AJ sell? It's on June 4th right now. Should AJ sell? Darren, go ahead and take that one first.
I would say I would be exploring buying and selling. I mean, because if it doesn't turn around, now listen, I don't think they're going to lose 9 out of 10 for the remainder of the season. If that happens, the hitting coach will be the least of anybody's problems. Yeah. But I do think, Marty, and there's been some interesting reporting from Ken Rosenthal, which is sort of speculation. It's speculative from Ken. He does seem to suggest, though, that the Padres, how did he say it at The Athletic? He said the Padres are indicating that they might have money.
Yes, that the new ownership would be, yes.
To add payroll mid-season, which is interesting. So, that was part of the story last year. Why did they trade all these prospects? Because they didn't have money. I mean, the group that was running the show, which might, by the way, still be running the show, Marty. There's an interesting Evan Drellich tweet, which we'll get to here in a sec. But if they do have the ability to add money, what does that do? But that was a column from Ken Rosenthal. I think that was the only thing I would say qualifying as news.
Right.
Other than that, I mean, do I really believe that Tarek Skubal, like the Padres are calling on Tarek Skubal?
No, he didn't.
I don't personally.
Now, Rosenthal, who wrote this for The Athletic, of course, he's part of Foul Territory as well. But he did not say that the Padres were going to be in on Skubal. He just said that other baseball executives have been led to believe that AJ Preller is going to he's going to have money to spend. They're going to give him an allowance to go ahead and do something that he really wasn't able to do last couple of years and add some more not significant payroll, but more money. He can add some pieces. He just meant that, and he said that, yes, to your point, they've depleted the farm system. According to Keith Law, the worst farm system in baseball. But if he were to make trades, it's AJ Preller. Don't count it out. So, all right. So the first part of that tweet
Marty,
was,
I would just say, real quick, this team right now is 32-29, which is 3 games over 500. And let's not all be math nerds about that.
They're behind the Diamondbacks and the St. Louis Cardinals now for the final wild card spot, as it stands.
Right. I think that the record has to be a little bit better. You know what I mean? Like you can't just be hovering around 500 and I don't know. Should we trade away prospects from a depleted farm system? I don't. Now, if I were one of these teams and I had some assets to sell, of course I would want AJ Preller. Why? Because he gives away prospects. You know what I mean? You got players everywhere. So, if I'm somebody who's a general manager, I'm like, yeah, okay, I've got somebody who I think that they could use over there. My first call might be to AJ Preller because, he might trade me Ethan Salas if he doesn't have a ton of money. And by the way, I mentioned the Evan Drellich thing. I don't want to be done with the tweets here, but there was an owners meeting a couple of days ago, and Rob Manfred was asked about the Padres sale. Hey, how's it going? And Evan Drellich said, Rob Manfred on the San Diego Padres ownership change, which requires approval of other MLB owners. Quote, things are moving along with that sale. Not ready for a vote today. It'll probably be at some point this summer. Probably. That according to Evan Drellich of The Athletic. I mean, probably.
I thought it was going to be early
this week, Marty, but I expected something a little bit more than probably
I thought June.
from the commissioner of Major League Baseball.
We went from owners meetings to later in June to probably, maybe.
Probably. I mean, when does summer even start? Summer starts at the end of June. So like we're talking about, right? Isn't the summer solstice on June 21st?
Sure.
I think I have that right.
So again, if you're
like, that's just kind of odd. Like it's not reassuring. That's what I'm trying to say.
So if you're AJ Preller right now and you want to go ahead and make a trade for a left-handed bat with some slug, and you want to do it right now, you can't wait any longer. You've already cut Nick Castellanos. You're depending on Jase, Bowen, and Samad Taylor. Are you going to John Seidler, Gruchner to add money, and do they send a message on to Kwanza Jones and Jose Feliciano? How does that work? Or do you have to wait until maybe this summer to find out if you can go ahead and make these moves?
Right. Does AJ Preller have money to spend contingent on a new ownership group being approved? Mm-hmm. Will they be approved by the trade deadline? I mean, that's just a really interesting twist to this, and I don't want to turn a molehill into the mountain here, but right. That choice of words from the commissioner, just again, having just read it on a tweet, isn't reassuring. I mean, and we understand some of the reporting. I think would suggest, Marty, that maybe this is a little bit more of a complicated ownership group and change than other teams or other organizations, right? Because you're buying in at a percentage, at a value rate, and we've heard about other ownership groups being brought in. There's the local tribe with Sequant. Mm-hmm. So maybe it's a little bit more complicated to try to vet not just Kwanza Jones and Jose Feliciano out, but also some of their prospective partners, and then having to cross some T's, and that's a lot of I's to dot. And then you have existing partners too, and maybe some of them are kind of like, "Hey, wait, what? I have to So
how
it
massive
just sounds like
is
maybe it sounds like it could be a little bit complicated here. I don't think anybody's getting cold feet. That's not what I'm saying.
They're not going to back out because of the Padres' team batting average, or because they've lost 5 straight,
right.
Or because Jase Bowen
woke up and are like, "Wait a minute, this team can't hit a lick. Why would I buy this for $3.9 million?"
This is what I'm getting myself into. All right, let's go ahead and finish we have to hustle through this, Darren. Second part of the tweet. Oh, wait, that's the wrong one. I'm sorry.
Are they ever going to be held
accountable? This one. I don't know. What happened to wait, I'm sorry. This one. Should the new owners dump Machado?
I mean, how can you? Got 8 years left. I don't know. I mean, what do you want them to do? I mean, honestly, I don't know. What would that even look like? Should they? I would say no. I would say that's premature. Dale Peterson says, is Preller ever going to be held accountable for overspending, under-delivering, being a mediocre GM for 11 years? What makes people think that this approach works? I mean, it's worked.
It works. Second best attendance in baseball last season, correct?
It's the golden era of Padre baseball, Marty.
It is. Sellouts galore. Back-to-back trips to the postseason.
Is he going to be held accountable? I feel like there's more conversation. It's funny when people say, even people have asked, like, hey, you spend so much time on a hitting coach. When are you going to put Preller's feet to the fire? Like, who doesn't do that? I mean, everybody's always saying, like, what's going on with Preller? Didn't we just have a huge referendum on him this past offseason? Is he going to get an extension? Is he not going to get an extension? What does it say? Sometimes things run their course. Is he going to be compatible with a new owner?
Right.
Nobody seems to know the answer to that question because nobody knows these new owners. Just that they'll probably get approved sometime in the summer.
Maybe.
So maybe. Stay tuned. Nobody knows who's running this thing right now. I mean, this thing is just like set sail, like with no direction to it. I mean, it's just insane. Of all the things that Padres have been through with ownership, and you had something that was so good. And man, we're just like into the abyss of the unknown again. I mean, just don't know what to say. I don't know how anybody can predict anything about Preller and the trade deadline until we have a little bit of clarity as to what the ownership situation is. Because I couldn't for the life of me tell you who's actually running things today. I don't have any idea on that one. So thank you all very much. You all were very kind to send in. Is that it?
There are so many. Maybe we'll get to a couple of them tomorrow because there's a lot of angry Padres fans right now. And I'm just curious as to some of the messaging coming in that clubhouse. Tomorrow should be interesting, Darren. Tomorrow should be a really,
Marty cannot wait. Marty is licking her chops. She's like, it's Christmas Eve for Marty
no,
tonight because she cannot wait to get into that clubhouse.
No, because when
point
things
her
are
microphone in the camera. Oh, yes.
Well, yes and no, but when things are bad, and right now they are terrible. Okay, 5 straight, getting swept by the Phillies. Manny's going to walk into the clubhouse tomorrow, turn to his right, and see a big empty locker. Or maybe he's going to see Jase Bowen, right where Nick Castellanos used to be. All right? So and he's going to have that.
So? You think they're going to replace Castellanos? They're going to put Jase Bowen right next to Manny Machado? That would be amazing if they did that.
Oh, my goodness.
What if you walk in tomorrow and Manny is just sort of tearfully, glumly packing up Castellanos' stall? I feel bad. I
do too.
Just as a human being, I don't know if Nick Castellanos has another stop left in his career. He's made a lot of money. He's had a good life. Listen, I'm not saying I feel all that sorry for him, but I feel like the guy was doing what he could to try to be.
I felt he had more to
his puzzle.
He was. He was trying to be. He was being a team player. I felt Darren. He was out there early all the time, working with Ryan Goins, grounders at first base and whatnot. He did try hard. I felt like he had a little bit more to offer this team. Because you need major league players, especially, scratched. Samad Taylor and Jase Bowen. Maybe you can have one. You have 2 of them, and they both struck out looking to end a game. Just
I feel bad for Bowen. He struck out 5 of his 8 at-bats.
See ya. Goodbye. My goodness.
That we're not going to blame on the hitting coach.
No, we're not.
Just so we're clear here, we're not hanging 5 of.
Hey, listen, AJ Preller.
5 punch outs and 8 at bats. We're not putting that one on Steven Souza Jr.
No,
Steven, you're off the hook on that one.
And by the way, Craig Stammen, AJ Preller, Nick Castellanos can do that. He can strike out 5 out of 8 times. What are you doing to these kids? Disaster.
I know, but like Craig Stammen said, we're trying to play some team baseball around here, Marty. Whatever that means, I'm not sure. I know Bryce Johnson had a good defensive play today and had a couple of knocks, so good on him.
Thanks for the silver linings, Darren. Will it?
It'll get better. And if it doesn't get better, watch the NBA Finals.
Hey,
the World Cup's around the corner.
Hey, I'm going to say it right now. Make or break homestand. This is it. This homestand determines AJ Preller's path going forward. Yes. Crucial. Look at that right there with headlines. Crucial homestand. You heard it here first.
They are 50, 60. They're played 61 games, so they are 32-29. 100 more to go, Marty. You have the stomach for this?
Oh, yeah. Let's go.
Wait, there were a ton of questions. There were a lot of questions. We should just get to some of them tomorrow. We'll do that. Thank you very much. Thank you for subscribing to Friar Territory. FriarTerritoryShop.com. A lot of you wanted to ask questions about injuries, and I feel like maybe Freddie Fermin. There's lots of questions about Freddie Fermin as well. So we saw them all, but we do have time limits on these shows, so we'll try to get to them maybe on Friday. But thank you for your support of Friar Territory. Subscribe on YouTube, wherever it is that you get your audio podcasts. FriarTerritoryShop.com. She's Marty. I'm Darren. We'll see you next time.